Color theory, this PowerPoint was created by the online writing lab through the University of Purdue, and I really like what they have to say, so I asked for permission and was granted to use this PowerPoint. Color is all around us, and it's reflected in light, and from white light, how the white light is bent rather, and it can be used in a variety of ways. So let's talk about it. Color theory, that we talk about how to create blends together that work together, and as well as readability for your audience. And we'll also talk about cultural associations with color, because that can make a big difference in what color you choose as well. Many times, why learn color theory? Some people think, I've got a good eye, or I know, but sometimes just understanding kind of the background of color can make a big difference in choosing colors in your design. So color is light, like I talked about, and by mixing other colors, the primary colors, you probably know this from back when you had art in school. Primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. By mixing those together, we get our secondary colors. So for example, by mixing red and yellow, we get orange. By mixing red and blue, we get purple. And by mixing blue and yellow, we get green. Then we have tertiary colors that mix both that primary and secondary colors as you go through to come up with a further blend of color. So with that in mind, all together you have the color wheel. And we'll talk about complementary colors as well as analogous colors, which can make a difference. So for example, a complementary color, when you put those items together, and I'm just going to going through here, it can make a difference. So complementary colors, for example, a complementary color of red and green will give that most contrast or that most effect. There's a reason why our Christmas colors are red and green. So as you look at that, they tend to stand out. I've often seen on design shows, if they have a green room, often what they'll do is they'll put in red apples in a bowl or something like that to just have a little bit of contrast or excitement. So it depends on what sort of effect you're going for. So let's take a look at it a little bit further. We talked about complementary, which are colors that are opposite from one another, but we also have analogous colors, which are right next to each other on the color wheel. So in this case, if I wanted, I could use this red, orange, and orange to come up with something a little more soothing, and that's considered an analogous color scheme. If you think of fall, for example, fall often has some analogous kind of color schemes that are occurring. You can also do color contrast with text. In this case, you can see why the black text on white background is so popular, because there's a great degree of contrast and easily read. The blue and black offer little contrast. However, maybe for a little punch, a headline, it could work, but a lot of information like this, it could be painful to read after time. Again, too, that simultaneous contrast where here's that red and the blue, it almost vibrates a little bit, which can be difficult to read. Contrast, when you have or complementary colors, draws attention to that item, and so you can bring, especially if you want to bring some sort of focus. Sale, think of stop signs, sale items when you're in a store or that type of thing. They're all bold and brightly colored using contrast. It's for a reason, because it gets our attention. An example here for the flyer, the one on top, they're not completely ineffective, but the orange box on top really gives a nice little punch. If you look at the one on the bottom, notice that kind of blue-gray. The clothes happen to have a lot of blue-gray in them as well. So with that, you want to have some punch, complementary color here, use some orange, and suddenly now there's that big sale, one-day sale, oh my gosh, I've got to get down there, that type of thing, and can really draw in your users. Analogous colors, like I was talking about, where they're positioned next to each other on the wheel, they have little contrast again, but they have a feeling of harmony. So it depends on what you're going for in your design. Again, here's that analogous analogy that I was talking about, where you've got that fall time. There's your colors happening right there. Your orange, yellow, green, and so on, that really kind of make fall such a great season. Colors come with feelings, moods, and associations, and you'll look at that this week. However, there's in our example, red is associated with excitement, stop, draws our attention. There's a reason why Target has that big red bullseye. Wants you to draw that attention and bring them in. Bullseye, this is the place to be, as well as red stop signs. Also, color associations, come from the society, so they may be different in different society. When we talk about color and perception of color this week, it will be related to the, kind of United States viewpoint. For example, in the past, purple was associated solely with royalty, and you had to use permission. It was, kind of off with their heads kind of a thing. So it's interesting.